Hey, it's Joe Scully, and I'm in Kapuskasing, Ontario, Canada, as we just wind up the Rawhide Rodeo at the Lumberjack Heritage Festival in Kapuskasing, our third consecutive year as we celebrate all things forestry, all things lumberjack in Kapuskasing, Ontario. It was great for me to hang out with the Rawhide Rodeo Company Canada crew. I've been hanging out with the American brand, Rawhide Rodeo Company, and their PRCA brand, All American Rodeo Company, for the last 6-7 weeks. It's been a long time since I've been reunited with the Rawhide Rodeo Company Canada crew. And, last time I saw them was early June. Seen a lot of the contestants that we see here in Canada south of that line. But, we had a great time, the family all together, the rodeo family at least, barbecuing under awnings and stuff like that, playing with the mascot, Honey, little dog running around. Just a great time with the Rawhide Rodeo crew up in Canada. Talk about a crew, very interesting. We had 3 announcers and a funny man for the entire shows. It's Kapuskasing, where the leading language, everyone speaks French, English a little bit. So we had an interpreter. We had myself running the music, commentating, sound guaranteed to pound. We also had Garrett Yerrigan of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, riding around on horseback. Yeah, you don't normally see that, right? 2 announcers in English. You see, Houston up in the stand. You see them, the International Finals Rodeo, Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. But we're in Kapuskasing. Expect the unexpected. A guy riding around on a horse. A guy over there DJing. Worked out good. It was fun to hang out with my buddy Garrett Yerrigan. Austin Stewart, a funny man. He done a good job as well up at the Kapuskasing Lumberjack Heritage Festival. They love him up there. He's all over Instagram from last year. Lots of fans love Austin Stewart. And the fans, man, they were huge. We always talk about the great rodeo fans everywhere we go. In Kapuskasing, they show up in ponchos, raincoats. They wear, they're holding umbrellas. They filled the stands, capacity crowd, umbrella to umbrella, Friday night, Saturday night. As it rained, we still rodeoed, and they loved it. And the bareback bronc riding, it was huge. It's an extreme rodeo format. Bareback bronc riding, saddle bronc riding, bull riding. In the bareback bronc riding, we had 3 guys at the top of the leaderboard. They all scored 72 points. And we got 3 champions. Sean Miner, the 18 champ of the world of International Pro Rodeo. He is up there versus Blue Bayou. We also had Josh Krager. He's a former 3-time world champion and a 5-time International Finals Rodeo champion. He rode the same horse the next day and, up there at the top of the leaderboard. And then we had a guy from Terrebonne, Quebec, Philippe Harvey, who just come back from the Calgary Stampede. He as well ties for first. The three-way split at the top of the leaderboard. And the judges couldn't pick a winner, but looking back at those videos and stuff, just 3 great rides in the bareback bronc riding. Over to the steer wrestling, which was a jackpot. The committee guy, the first year 1, he wanted to try bull riding. He did it. Next year, he's like, I want to try steer wrestling. So we did that. We did a steer wrestling jackpot. Our bullfighter wins on Friday night with a 14-0, and Tyler Foster on Saturday night. He's our 4-time all-around champion here in Ontario. He wins with a 6-4 to win the bull dogging jackpot at the Rawhide Rodeo. In the saddle bronc riding, we had 5 of the top 15 in the world riding over the top, over the entire competition, 2 days in the saddle bronc riding. And our champion of the saddle bronc riding is a guy, he's a former International Pro Rodeo Association world champ, former International Finals Rodeo champ, #1 guy in the world standings rolling into Kapuskasing. Eddie Parlier of Johnson City, Tennessee. He wins the saddle bronc riding. Big ride. I think it was like a 73-point ride. They scored him versus 23 Air Jordan, and just a great ride. We definitely enjoyed that. They put the fans on their feet in the saddle bronc riding. We had Erica Bareback, a cowgirl of Ville-Marie, Quebec, as our top barrel racer. And our hometown cowgirl, Estelle Bareback, she places second in her hometown. That's pretty awesome for her. She was just 0.2 of a second back to put Kapuskasing as our reserve champion at the senior barrel racing in Kapuskasing. Junior barrel racing, we saw a girl from just outside of town in Hearst, Samuel Dandino, win it. And the hometown cowgirl, Melanie Bareback, also of Kapuskasing, she ends up placing second, about half a second back, but just another check. She won Holstein 3 weeks ago, the largest rodeo in the province of Ontario. Then she goes to Russell the next weekend, wins that. Hometown show, second place. She'll take the money, she'll take the points, and it was good. In the bull riding, Well, we talked about in our tee-up, A.J. Vale, the guy who won it last year, the only guy to ride one. Would he replicate? You know, 5th in the world standings. I thought it was 8th, but he was 5th in the world standings. If he wins it, he could jump to number 1 and at least number 2 in the IPRA world standings of bull riding. What would happen? He draws 999, Puppet Master, goes out and rode again. Let's watch that ride right now.
Jay Vale trying to replicate what he did a year ago. The Cowboy was the only one to ride tonight. It's 999 Puppet Master. He'll do it too. Come on. Yeah, here's
big ride, 81 points they score him, and he wins the event. It was huge. It was awesome. I asked him after the show, Guy, 81, what'd you think of the big ride? He says, the ride was great. I love Kapuskasing. You know, obviously he won last year, but the first year we went there, he placed. So he's had 3 8-second rides, 24 seconds, and he says between year 1, 2, and 3, I've made over $10,000 in bull riding in Kapuskasing. Of course he's going to love it. The Arthur, Ontario native, we think he's second in the world right now after that huge ride. Now, we had 28 gates in the bull riding over the 2 performances up in Kapuskasing, and out of those 2 we had 2 qualified rides of the 28. The other guy, former international finals rodeo champ, IFR 41 champ, Sylvain Champagne, just outside of Montreal, Quebec. He also is in there, 75-point ride with option of re-ride. He didn't take the option. He says, no, man, I'll take 40% of the purse all day long. So 2 bull rides. A.J. Vale, your bull riding champion for the 2nd consecutive year at the Lumberjack Heritage Festival in Kapuskasing, Ontario, Canada. Well, that's going to do it for this. Thanks, everyone, for watching the video. We'll be back. We're going to do a tee-up rolling into our next event, which is this weekend coming up. Long weekend in Canada. First weekend in August, the Sun Parlor Rodeo, Leamington, Ontario. Back at the Paveo Farm with the Paveo family show. It'll be live on television or replayed on television for a number of weeks at a time, CFTV. Top 10, 15 cowboys and cowgirls in the world in the 7 standard events of rodeo, plus the breakaway roping, plus the junior events as well. And we're excited to get into it. First weekend in August, Sun Parlor Rodeo, Leamington, Ontario. It's about 20 minutes inside Ontario, Canada from Detroit, Michigan. Definitely, if you got a chance, you don't have plans, join us. That's going to do it for me from Kapuskasing, Ontario. Look out for the Bears. We'll see you next time. Scully out.
Are you ready?